Die Invasionsfront.
Hallo Kameraden, we are in June right now. It's officially been 80 years since D-Day happened. Operation Overlord on June 6, 1944. Almost everyone that I know went to the 80 years anniversary of D-Day in France, Normandy. Unfortunately, I was not able to go there. However, I still wanted to make a D-Day themed video. Of course, understandably, almost everyone is focused on the Allies who landed there in June 1944. However, I thought it would be interesting to focus a little bit on the German side and show what a German MG gunner in Normandy would look like back then. By the way, before we start this video, are you interested in going back in time and relive D-Day yourself? Well, then this is the perfect opportunity to introduce today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by World of Warships. World of Warships is a free-to-play naval warfare themed game available on PC. With this game, you are able to command a massive naval fleet featuring history's most iconic war vessels. The game is highly detailed and there are tons of amazing features. New content is released every single month, whether it's new ships, in-game nations, cosmetics, or even ship classes. You can always count on enjoying fresh gameplay experiences in World of Warships' stunning 12 vs 12 arenas. Now here comes an extra surprise, guys. Join the battle as we commemorate the heroes of D-Day in World of Warships with a special 80th anniversary event. Engage in epic naval warfare as you relive history's most pivotal moment on the seas. Command new legendary vessels, strategize with your fleet in new missions, and dominate the waves in thrilling battles inspired by the events of June 6, 1944. Participate in exclusive in-game events, unlock commemorative rewards, and pay homage to those who changed the course of history. Come on guys, if you like history and you're interested in D-Day, this definitely is something you have to play. History is now in your hands. Sometimes it's easy to forget that this is actually a game because the graphics are absolutely stunning. Oh, and by the way, did I mention that World of Warships is also available on consoles? Yeah, that's right. Whether you are a PC gamer or rather play on console, World of Warships is waiting for you. Download World of Warships now by using the link in the video description. During registration, use the code DDAY80 to get 200 doubloons, 1 million credits, 7 days of premium account time, a free ship after you complete 15 battles, and 3 times special D-Day missions after 9 battles. Heads up, this is only available for a limited time, so you better hurry. This is all for free, guys. What are you waiting for? Stop wasting any time. Operation Overlord is waiting for you. Download World of Warships now. Okay, so I decided to make an educational video about the World War II German uniform, and what I'm going to show you today is the impression of a German MG-42 gunner in Normandy. So I'm going to explain you some things about the German uniform itself, what they were wearing, and of course I'm going to explain you stuff about the equipment that a German MG gunner would carry. So what I'm going to show you is an impression of a random German MG gunner during the Normandy campaign. Alright, so we are going to start with just the uniform. No equipment or anything yet, just the uniform. So like I already said, this is going to be a Normandy impression. So it's going to be, of course, late war, 1944. So we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to work our way to the top. We are going to start at the boots. As you can see, I'm wearing the ankle boots and not the taller jack boots. The taller jack boots was of course a lot more leather, and just like I explained in my World War I video, to save leather they decided to issue the low boots, and it was the same again in the Second World War. Even though they did use the jack boots from the beginning until the end of the war, they started issuing these ankle boots in 1940, 1941. So for a late war impression, it's nice to wear these ankle boots, even though you could still wear the actual jack boots. If I would wear the jack boots right now, the longer ones, that would also be correct, because like I already said, they would be wearing these from begin to end. So of course you can see on the bottom all these hobnails and shoe irons for grip and durability. In my World War I video, I explained about the puttees, or the gamaschen, that were wrapped around the pants to keep sand and dirt out and everything. Well, in World War II, they came with these. These are also gamaschen, but they're not as much work as the World War I ones that you have to wrap all the way around your legs. These are very simple. They have the exact same function to keep mud and dirt out. So you just wrap them around your legs and you buckle them right there. You always need to make sure that the buckles are on the outside and that the straps point backwards. That's the correct way. Otherwise, you have the buckles on the inside, they're gonna get stuck. You don't want that to happen. So now we're moving up to the pants. These are standard M1940 pants. You're probably thinking, hey, 1940 pants in 1944? Doesn't matter. They would wear everything from begin to end. Doesn't matter what it is. Even if it's a very early uniform, the M36 uniform, they can still be wearing that uniform in 1945. It doesn't matter. They would keep wearing these uniforms all the way until the end. M40 uniforms in 1944 is very common. It's totally normal and totally historically correct. So these are M1940 pants. They're very well worn. They have field repairs and everything. Which is nice for a late war impression, of course. Then we have the jacket, the M1940 field jacket, all made of wool, by the way, so it's nice and warm. And you're probably thinking, were they really wearing wool in the burning sun? Yes, they were. Of course, they also had this thinner material, these HBT or Drillich uniforms. They would wear that as well. But wool was definitely the most common. And yes, they would actually wear these uniforms in the burning sun, which was of course terrible. A lot of times you see original footage and pictures of German soldiers with their sleeves rolled up or their uniforms open because it was just extremely hot. There were lots of different types of medals and awards, but with this particular impression, I'm not really wearing anything. But for instance, if you got wounded, you would wear your wound badge right there, or your close combat badge right there. Or if you get these Iron Cross second class, you would wear a ribbon right there. But like what I said, I'm not really wearing anything right now. Let's actually talk about the insignias that I am wearing. And these are the standard insignias right here. This right here is the later war breast eagle. It's an earlier uniform, but it's a later war breast eagle. It's a dark green breast eagle, as you can see. And right here on the side, I have a rank. This rank right here means Gefreiter. And then I have these right here. I will explain you a little bit more about those after I explain to you about the shoulder boards. Here you can see I have shoulder boards with white piping. And the white piping in World War II would indicate infantry. I already explained this about the World War I as well. First red indicated infantry, then later they changed to white. And in the Second World War, this white meant infantry. There were lots of different colors. You had yellow, for instance, which was cavalry. You had red, which was artillery. You had pink, which was actually armored divisions. And earlier in the war, these color tabs would also actually have the Waffenfahnen. However, these that I'm wearing right now could be used for anything. They're later war color tabs. So if you're doing a later war impression and now and then you want to change your branch, you could just take off the shoulder boards and change the color on here, because these, you could be using these for everything, so perfect. Now we're going to talk about the belt. This is a standard leather belt. They would also use this for the equipment. I'm going to show you that later. But this is a standard German army belt. This particular one has an aluminum belt buckle, an original one. It has the German eagle on it and a text which is saying Gott mit uns, which means God with us. It's very easy to release the belt buckle, and it's also very easy to take the belt buckle completely off. As you can see, the belt itself is supported by 4 belt hooks right here on the front. And if I turn around, you can see 2 more right here on the back. And of course, right here, we are wearing the M1943 field cap. It's very nice and comfortable, and it's very warm in the winter. Right now, it's a little bit too warm because it's actually hot outside. But it's very nice and comfortable. It's a great design. And it actually has 2 buttons right here on top. I'll show you, I'll take them off. And it's very easy to just put this down, and you can button it up down here, and then it's very nice and warm for in the winter. I'm not going to do that right now because it's extremely hot. But you know, the design is really smart. Also, you can see it has an insignia right there with an eagle, and of course that little thingy that looks like a target again, just like in the First World War. I have a few items in my pocket too, some standard items. Right here, for instance, I have a little book with some military songs in it. I also have my Zollbuch, which has all my personal information in it, my picture and my rank and everything. Then right here in my left pocket I have a wallet with some money in it, and I actually also have 2 pens, which is also very common, of course, to carry with you, because if you want to write letters to your loved ones, you need a pen or a pencil to write. In my other pocket I have my Dienstbrille glasses. I also have some matches, also very important and very historically correct. Also something important, of course, is this right here. This is my personal Erkennungsmarke, or dog tag. So every German soldier would have a dog tag, of course. So if a soldier would be killed, you would actually break it apart. You can break it in 2. One half would be taken, and the other one actually stayed with the body. Alright, so now you saw the whole uniform without the equipment. Now it's time to get into combat mode. Alright, so now we are ready for combat. A lot more heavy right now, a lot more stuff, and of course I have an MG on my shoulder now too, which is pretty heavy. This is what it looks like from the side, from all sides. So now I am officially a German MG gunner ready for action. Let me take this MG off my shoulder for a second. Alright, so let's talk about the equipment. There's so much variety in what German soldiers would carry or not carry. Of course, some just had personal preferences and would actually throw something away and use something else instead, or there's so many differences. Especially late war, soldiers just grabbed what they could use and they used it in combat situations. However, there are a few standard things that an MG gunner would carry, and one of them is this. This is a toolbox basically. There's tools in there, there's an oiler in there. They would also have gloves with asbestos in order to quickly change the barrel. But yeah, like I already said, this is basically a toolbox. There's very important stuff in there. There's an oiler. So, of course, when you're having difficulties with your MG in the field, you need to repair it or change some parts or whatever. So that's standard for an MG gunner. What's also standard for an MG gunner is a pistol. They always had a sidearm. So what I'm carrying right now is a Walter P38. It's an original Walter P38, but we're getting into the Walter P38 and the MG-42 later. But it's an original Walter P38 from 1943. So, very nice. I'm gonna give you close-ups of that later. Then I, personally, lots of soldiers did this, have a Stiefelmesser right here. Because I'm not wearing a bayonet, lots of times MG gunners would actually still carry a bayonet because, you know, it's always handy to have a bayonet next to you and for close combat situations or whatever. Even if you don't have a rifle to actually mount the bayonet on, they would still carry bayonets. However, with my impression right now, at this moment, I'm not wearing a bayonet. I have a Stiefelmesser instead. Stiefelmesser basically means boot knife, so they would actually have them in the boot. But in my situation right now, I have it right here so I can grab it really quick in an emergency. So that's why I'm carrying a knife right there. Also, of course, I have a Stielhandgranate 24. Very simple grenade. It's not a fragmentation grenade. It's basically a concussion grenade. It's the blast that would kill you and not the fragmentation. The explosive head right here says Vor Gebrauch Sprengkapsel einsetzen, which means before use, insert detonator. To activate the Stielhandgranate 24 or potato masher, you screw the cap off and you have a porcelain ball right there. You pull it out, 4 or 5 seconds delay, and then it will explode. So yeah, that's how the Stielhandgranate 24 works. So often they would carry them right there. Also very often they would carry the shovel actually there, because they use that as a weapon, or of course when they have to make foxholes or whatever. So carrying a shovel would actually also be correct for an MG gunner, very common. However, me personally right now, I'm not carrying a shovel. Lots of times they were carrying ammunition like this, 7.92 8mm Mauser rounds. These are all original rounds, by the way. They're very hard to find. They're all deactivated, but they're really hard to find original. So they would lots of times carry it around the neck. I have right here in the back, very important piece of equipment right here, the gas mask. Even though they weren't using gas attacks anymore, like World War I, they still always were carrying their gas mask right here. It was a standard and very important piece of equipment, and it's carried right here on the back. I will show you that later. You also have this little bag right there. That is the Gasplantasche. That's actually a gas cape. Then of course we have the fuel bottle right here, mounted on the M31 bread bag. This is a later type bread bag, and a fun fact about this particular bread bag is actually that this was a movie prop in the famous series Band of Brothers. It was actually used in Band of Brothers, so that's pretty cool. This right here is an original M1931 Kochgeschirr, or messin. Because this is a late war impression, it's very well used. As you can see, it's original. All the paint has been worn off, and for a late war impression, that looks very authentic. Oh, something I forgot to mention about the gas mask is, of course, you can see it's camouflaged. Lots of different types of camouflage were used during the Normandy campaign. Germans would even capture American helmet nets or pieces of parachute and actually use it as camouflage for their helmets and stuff like that. They would spray paint their equipment, their helmets, but one very common thing was the typical so-called Normandy camouflage. 3-tone camouflage, brown, green, and yellow. More like Africa Corps sand color. So that's what you can see on the gas mask here as well. It's camouflaged. Also, I am wearing a Laufschütze right here. And this is actually a container that would have a spare barrel inside. An MG gunner is always going to be 2 or 3 people at least. Of course, there were exceptions, but usually there were always 3 or 2 people. 1 to carry the ammo, 1 to change the barrel, and 1 who actually operates the MG-42, of course. Lots of times, you know, late in the war, they were just walking around with their MG with a bunch of ammo. Like I already said, there are so many exceptions and stuff like that. We cannot get into that, but we're just getting into the standard MG gunner right now, which would usually be 3 or 2 people. But like I already said, the MG gunner itself would also carry ammo right here, so he could grab it really quick if he needed it. But yeah, I was talking about the Laufschütze right here. It's also in Normandy camouflage, as you can see. That was to change the barrel really quick. In this case, I am carrying the Laufschütze. Lots of times they were actually carrying multiple of them, but of course when you're with 2 or 3 people, someone else could carry the spare barrel and someone else could carry the ammo boxes, and the MG gunner would just have the ammo and the MG itself. Talking about ammo, this is the standard German Patronenkaste ammo box. Would be filled with these ammo belts full of ammunition. Very heavy to carry, but this is a standard German MG ammo box for the MG-34 or MG-42. And right here I actually have another one. And this one is also painted in Normandy camouflage, as you can see. Different colors. So, and also right here, this is the drum magazine. A belt like this would go inside here. Then the MG would be really easy to carry. You could just put this on the MG like basically like a magazine, and you can just fire whenever you want it to. And you do not have this belt like hanging around. It's very easy to open this thing up, by the way. All you have to do is turn this thing to the right, and then you are able to flip this, and then you can open it up, and then you would have a belt in there. Very interesting piece of equipment. This particular one has been sprayed in sand color as well. Also, of course, to support all this weight, I am wearing the combat Y strap right here. And right here in the front you can see it. It's supporting all the weight of the equipment, which makes it actually very easy to carry. It's still heavy, but it's easy to walk with it. So yeah, that's all the equipment I am carrying right now. Also, of course, we have to talk about the actual helmet. The helmet I'm wearing right now is a late war model M1942. Every model would be correct for a late war impression. M40, M35, M42. It's all correct because they used early war helmets all the way till the end of the war. However, the one I'm wearing right now is an M42. It's the latest model, and it has been sprayed also in the famous Normandy camouflage color. And you're probably wondering what these wires are right here. Well, they're actually just electrical wires. They use any type of wire they could find. They used chicken wire, they used barbed wire, they used any form of wires or ropes that you could find. Why? It's actually a camouflage reason. The helmet itself is already camouflaged, of course, but these actually have the same function as a helmet net, and it's to actually put branches and leaves and everything between it so you can blend in with the environment. So that's the whole reason why sometimes they would add these wires or ropes or whatever on their helmets. So here are two other helmets that I have in Normandy camouflage. Like I already said, the one I'm wearing right now, this one, is actually an M42, but this one right here is an M40, and this is the M35. As you can see, there is a lot of variety, different ways you can camouflage your helmet. These three helmets are all in Normandy camouflage paint. Helmets like these are referred to as wire helmets. And we have this one. This is a so-called chicken wire basket helmet, also very common. They would just cut pieces of chicken wire and used it as camouflage, put branches between it and stuff like that. This is an M35 because the vent hole right here is a separate piece. It's not stamped into the helmet, and the edge of the helmet is rolled, so this is a very early helmet. These are all original helmets, by the way. This is an M40 because, as you can see, the vent hole right here is not a separate piece. It's actually stamped into the helmet, and the edge is rolled. This one has no wires or anything. This is just raw camouflage, as you can see. Then, of course, we have this one, which I was wearing just now. An M42 with the edge not rolled anymore. As you can see, it's just going like that. It's a very sharp edge, and the vent hole is stamped into the helmet. That makes this helmet the M42. It's just to speed up the production and stuff like that. That's why the edge is just sharp like that. It kind of feels like customizing your character in a game, so you can change your helmet and stuff like that. Also, I still wanted to show you the gas mask right here. So this is the World War II German gas mask. I am not gonna put it on my face because this is an original old filter, and these actually contain some toxic material, some asbestos and stuff like that. So you don't want to wear these original gas masks unless you like take the filter out, or you actually use a replica filter, or maybe use an empty filter or whatever. But these original filters contain asbestos, and I highly recommend you to not wear them. By the way, I had two awesome people visiting me yesterday, two amazing fans who actually went to Normandy and brought me some souvenirs, including this awesome sign that says Paris. Thank you so much. I decided to include this in this video because it fits the theme, so it's perfect. So thank you again so much, Lander, for giving me these awesome items. I really appreciate it, and I cannot wait to see you guys again in the future. I'm sure people want to see the Walther P38 too. So here it is. Let me give you a nice look at it. This is an original World War II Walther P38 from 1943. Nice big like grips. Beautiful sound. Magazine, really easy to release. Just push this button and then it goes like that. There you go. I love it. Yes, and of course, the original MG-42 itself. And it's pretty heavy. As you can see, it's not easy to run around with this and shoot like it's just a rifle, of course. This is something you're not gonna do with an MG-42, even though I'm doing it right now. But it's very heavy. As you can see, it's the bipod right here. It fires from an open bolt. This is how you open up the top cover. And this is a feed tray. And here you can see the bolt of the MG. So it fires from an open bolt. If you want to reload the MG-42, there's actually different ways you can reload this weapon. One of the ways is by grabbing one of these. There you go. So this thing right here, this is called a starter tab. And all you have to do is just push it through and you pull right here. And then you're basically ready to fire. There you go. You're ready to fire. Or of course, the other way is just to, if you don't have a starter tab, just grab it like this, put it right there, close the feed tray or the top cover, and you're ready to fire. So the MG-42 would fire 1,200 to 1,500 rounds per minute. That's just insane. Obviously they would not keep firing because that would literally melt the barrel, but the barrel would get really hot really soon, and if the barrel was too hot to fire, they would change the barrel really quick by just pushing this forward, and the barrel comes out, and you can just, with these gloves I explained to you earlier before, take the barrel out, throw it away, put a new one in, and you can fire again, which was of course very advanced back at the time. That's why the modern army, the German army and stuff like that, still uses the MG-42. It's basically still the same machine gun. Slight modifications, but basically the same machine gun still. Very high-tech and modern machine gun for back in the day, of course. They would shoot in bursts, of course, like brr, brr. They would not fire like brr, because that would literally just destroy the barrel completely. Iron sights, there's also a hole right there for the AA sight. Flipping the sights is always really satisfying. But yeah, MG-42. And oh, one more thing really quick to show you. Another way to reload the MG is of course with the drum magazine. You would open this up right here. There you go. There's no ammo in it right now, but usually there would be ammo in there. This goes there, this goes here, and then you click it on there. There you go. Close it up, and you're ready to fire. Hey, D-Day is relying on you right now. We need you to command these ships. Download World of Warships now by using the link in the video description. And also, very important, during registration, use the code DDAY80 to get 200 doubloons, 1 million credits, 7 days of premium account time, a free ship after you complete 15 battles, 3 times special D-Day missions after 9 battles. This is only available for a limited time, so you better hurry. This is all for free, guys. Stop wasting any time. Operation Overlord has a green light. Download World of Warships now. Alright guys, that was my explanation video about a German MG gunner during the Normandy campaign. If you want to see more of these impression videos, American, German, whatever, let me know. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like the video, please leave a like and a comment. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. These are no sound effects. Maybe I should get my helmet.